Are you a winner or are you a loser? Well, that's for you to decide. What's going on, guys? It's Nick from Mindful Mastery, where I help you master your mind. The two most powerful words in any language are I am, because what you think you are is what you become. What you believe about yourself is what you mold yourself to be. So, if you believe that you're a weak person and a loser, then you will become a weak person and a loser. But if you believe that you're a strong person and a winner, then you'll become a strong person and a winner. This makes it sound easy, and there are a couple different aspects to it that do make it a little bit harder, but it is essentially the foundation of how you achieve whatever you want to achieve. Let me give you an example. Poverty is a horrible thing to be born into, because children that are born into poverty are more likely to grow up and stay in poverty. I think this is because of two main reasons. The first reason is the hardships that are associated with poverty. So, people that are in poverty generally have poor schools to go to. Now, those poor schools generally provide worse education than other schools. Because of this, children in poverty are less likely to go to college, and they are more likely to get involved in stealing, selling drugs, or gangs. Now, these are facts that are commonly associated with poverty, and while not all students will be held back from escaping poverty or get involved with any of these crimes, many of them will. For the longest time, I thought that this is what needed to be changed about poverty. I thought that if we could spread out the wealth more and give people in poverty a little bit better of a starting point in life, then it would set them up for success so much easier than it had been in the past. But recently, I began to realize some other aspects that play a pretty big role in shaping whether someone can escape poverty or not. And that is the second reason why children stay in poverty. That is the mindset of people and culture of poverty. The children that are born in poverty, of little faults of their own, often find themselves thinking that they can't get out of poverty because of all the disadvantages that are associated with it, because people are constantly telling them that they can't escape poverty because the system is rigged and they can't get out of it. Now, I don't know about you, but this would definitely not make me motivated to try and get out of poverty. So if someone tells you that the school system sucks and that you won't get anything out of going to school, will this make you more or less likely to go to school and actually try to apply yourself and learn and gain as much education as you can? It'll probably make you less motivated, and in fact, you probably won't even end up going to school. And this will lead to a decrease in your ability to get to college, and at that point, you will have given up on society in helping you to achieve whatever success that you can find. But what are you gonna do? Because you still wanna make lots of money and have a good life, so what is there to turn to? So you've heard of your good buddy who's been selling drugs, and he just bought a car for himself and for his mom. And you think to yourself, that's a pretty good deal. I think I'll get in on that. And I tell you, you know that's illegal, and if you get caught, it'll probably ruin your life. But you're a teenager, so you think you're different. You say, I'm smarter than all those people who have gotten caught, so I won't get caught. Now, obviously, this ends up not being the case for many people, and they end up getting caught and going to jail and just perpetuating the stereotypes that are associated with poverty onto the next generation. While it is undoubtable that these conditions that are associated with poverty play a huge role in hindering people to get out of poverty, the attitude of people in poverty and telling their younger generations that they can't escape because the system is rigged against them and that they have too many disadvantages stacked against them has just as much of an impact on their ability to escape poverty as the actual conditions themselves do. Because it's easy to just give up and say that the system is rigged and so that's why you can't get out of poverty, but it's very difficult to work hard and try to pull yourself up from poverty and to realize who you truly are. I actually have a particular mindset that has an impact on a lot of different areas of my life. I am someone that has performance anxiety. This is mainly in social situations. I will get myself worked up about what I'm going to say or how I'm going to act because I don't want to look like an idiot or fail in any way. I have this in the smallest situations, like whenever I'm having a conversation with someone. I worry about what I'm going to say, if I'm going to run out of anything to say, and if I'm going to look like an idiot. Even though I realize that if I look like an idiot and the other person judges me, then it won't even matter. In most situations, the person probably won't even really care anyways. I have just identified with being socially awkward for so long that it feels almost impossible to escape from that identity. So if you have any identities that you struggle to get rid of, then trust me, I know where you're coming from. But what we need to realize is that these changes don't happen overnight. They are gradual and slow changes. So the only way that we can actually make these changes is by taking the first step on the journey of 1,000 miles. Because without taking that first step, we'll never get to that 1,000 miles. That's kind of like what I did with this channel, because I realized that these videos aren't the greatest quality in content or how I present them. But early on, I realized that I just needed to actually get out there and make them. Otherwise, I wasn't going to, or I was going to delay it for so much longer. I had actually planned on starting a YouTube channel for like the past 2 years. I even bought this camera that I'm using around the same time and hardly used it since then. What you think leads to the actions that you take. While not all of those actions will lead to success, the more actions that you take towards achieving your goals, the better chance you have in actually achieving them. Let's take being in poverty, for example. So if you give up and you think that the system is rigged against you and that you can't get out of poverty, then you're not going to try to get out of poverty, so you won't get out of poverty. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But if you identify yourself as someone that can work hard to actually get out of poverty and that those systems won't hold you down, then you are so much more likely to actually get out of poverty because you are taking action to do it. So if you don't think you are something, then you'll never become something. First think, then act, and then become. You know, I kind of like that for a slogan for this channel. Let me know what you guys think compared to master your mind and whether I should change it to think, act, become. I kind of like the sound of that a little bit better. As I was saying, there are a lot of positions and states of mind that take a lot of time and work to actually achieve. And that mountain seems so daunting if you're just looking at the top. And that's where goal setting comes in. Because if you actually set down and plan your goals and kind of chunk them up into different tasks and objectives, then instead of seeing the entire mountain and just seeing the top and wondering how you're going to get up there, you see certain different objectives and different steps that you can take towards reaching the top of that mountain. I'm going to have a video in the future that'll kind of be a workshop and show you how to identify your goals and then how to plan them out. And if you're interested in seeing that kind of video, then please comment that below and I'll try and get it out as fast as possible. But let's get to the ways that you can actually work towards changing your identity and achieving whatever you want to achieve. So I want you to write down 5 identities or things that you want to achieve. And then for each of those, I want you to write 1 action that you can take today towards achieving those goals. Now, you don't have to act out all of these actions today, but I want you to take at least one of those actions and go and do it. So let me just help walk you guys through a couple of different goals that you can set and actions that you can take towards achieving them. So my first one is overcoming my fear of failure. And the action that I'm going to take is kind of cliche. It's ask a girl for her number. Because as many of you know, asking a girl for her number is kind of anxiety provoking, and the main reason behind that is because we fear that we're going to be rejected, even though if we are rejected, it won't really matter because they'll just say no and then that's it and we can move on. So I know it's cliche, but it is a good way to overcome that fear of failure. And the second one is to overcome my social anxiety. And the action is to go up to 3 strangers and ask them how their day is going. So just by starting a conversation with someone and talking to them about whatever's going on in their life can help me to work on my social conversation skills and overcoming any of that social anxiety. Then the third one is to organize my life. And the action is to clean my room. Now, this seems like super simple, but really that's all that you really need to do for just these first steps, is just to get yourself going. And actually, cleaning your room has a pretty big impact on how you organize your life, because whenever you have a clean room, you'll begin to really enjoy it being clean and start to tidy up other different aspects of your life. And then the fourth one is to read 50 books in a year, which is this 2018 year, which I'm actually trying to do that this year. And I think I'm like a week behind because I'm trying to do a book per week, but then I also have around like a 2-week grace period. So hopefully I achieve that. But the first action is just to read 1 page in 1 book. Now, I know for a lot of people, they don't really like reading because they don't like the idea of having to commit to the whole book. But all you really have to do is start reading the book and just set a goal for 1 page or 10 minutes or 15 minutes or however long that you can read for. And then whenever you get to that point, if you can keep going, then just keep going. And if you can't, then put it down and try and come back to it later. It's just getting that started. So the 5th goal is probably my most ambitious goal, and that is becoming President of the United States. Now, I don't know if this is actually something that I'm going to try to do, but I do want to be a politician, so I will have to run in some elections, and I do see that being an option for one of my futures. So one of the actions that I can take towards achieving that is to write a 5, 10, or 20-year career plan. So the action that you take can just be planning out future actions. Now, this really is helpful in actually working towards achieving your goals because it establishes the groundwork for how you're going to go about doing it. Thank you guys for watching my video today. I hope you learned why the power of I am is so important in shaping your life and achieving whatever you want to achieve. And if you have any critiques or suggestions for a future video, then please leave that in the comments below and keep mastering your mind.